2018. This is the Acushnet Board of Assessors. Is there a motion to open the meeting?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is being audio and videotaped per Mass General laws. Be kind enough to introduce yourself from Sudan.
Sue Pickard.
Kelly Fosca.
Liberia Swords.
Mark Centerizio.
Matt Lopes.
With that, minutes for approval, gentlemen. November 20th, 2018, open and executive session. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And with that, we will turn it over to you, Ms. Kelly.
Okay, just as a review, certification of tax rates for the town of Acushnet for FY19 were approved November 6th. The residential tax rate being $14.18 per thousand, and commercial, industrial, personal property $18.20 per thousand, with a 25% tax shift ratified by the Board of Selectmen for fiscal 2019. The commitment process for the billing for FY19 actual real estate and personal property taxes was complete on December 14th. I handed over the file of notification to Catherine Muller, the treasurer collector, for the bills to be mailed timely December 31st. Taxpayers will be in receipt of the third and fourth quarter actual tax bills December 31st. Again, it's one mailing with both installments. Third quarter due and payable by February 1st, 2019, and fourth quarter due and payable by May 1st, 2019. Also, as a reminder to taxpayers, the abatement period to file with the Board of Assessors for real estate and personal property, the deadline is 2/1/19. We will have the abatement application available on the town website. If it isn't already, I will clarify that and get that available to the taxpayer. As a review and a reminder for those that will or choose to file for an abatement, it has to be with substance or with the rationale as to the challenge of value, not necessarily the reason for the tax dollar. The process is the Board of Assessors will review your committed value that generated the tax dollar or makes up how that tax dollar is calculated and is reviewed. So for example, if it's a challenge of value, you would need to have support as to sales of comparable properties or values of comparable properties within your neighborhoods.
From our town.
From our town preferably, yes, because that way it's a parallel comparison and not the apples and oranges scenario.
I think the people in the North End town should pay less taxes. What do you think?
I don't live in a North End town.
Huh?
No, we all know how it works.
Never mind.
We've been
Just
here,
joking.
we've been
Sorry,
here a
folks.
while. Next matter on the agenda is the fiscal, of course, we're in the preliminary budget phases for our next fiscal year, 2020. We have been asked by, well, myself, I've been asked by the finance director to submit a preliminary proposed budget for fiscal 20. That is attached to the board's agenda for review. If you can just take a look at the numbers. Again, these are proposed soft numbers of what I will submit to the finance director for her review. I will go up in front of the finance committee once the budgetary process starts for fiscal 2020. Usually that happens about February or March for calendar 19 to prepare for the budget, and town meeting for May, and subsequently the fiscal year to start in July 1st. If you have any questions, we can revisit the information that is presented to you in executive session, as there is sensitivity to some of the information, and then we can come back in open session if we need to make a formal vote. But at this point, I prefer that we hold off on a formal vote for my preliminary submission once we have a discussion in executive session.
Understandable.
Also, as a reminder to the board, fiscal 2020 is a recertification or a reval year for the town of Acushnet through the Department of Revenue. We are on a 3-year triennial certification schedule. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Local Services has actually changed municipalities to a 5-year run, but in the transition period, Acushnet happened to get another 3-year run. So at this point, once we finish and complete 2020 and meet all the specifications as set out by the Division of Local Services. Our next reval will only be in fiscal 2025. But it just happened for us, our last one was 17. We're still in that 3-year plan because we didn't get into the communities that got the 5-year bump right off the start.
And with this is just a third of the town or the whole town?
Whole town, which is a more in-depth, we do interim adjustments for the interim years. This 3rd year is the triennial certification where I have the field advisor from the DOR that comes in and is a little bit more data specific as to looking at our analysis process, our collection of data, the integrity of our data, and the fairness and equality of the data to produce for the town to get it out.
Excellent.
With that being said, I will have a draft for an RFP, which is a request for proposal for a company to come in and assist with the CAMA reval. We historically have had the company known as Patriot Properties and have utilized them very successfully, in my opinion, for the tenure that I've been here. But legally, we have to go out for a bid because the project is over that $5,000 cost. So I will have the draft ready for the board at our January meeting for me to put out the RFP to receive the 3 bids, and then we can make a formal vote for the FY20 budget. Again, and I'll revisit that because some line items in our budget do refer back to that service, which is the triennial certification. Next is my request to attend the MAAO Winter School. I'd like to take course 200, which is known as the Principles of Assessing Procedures. It's scheduled to take place in March of 2019 in Auburn, Mass. It would be a compilation or cumulative total of 6 days, Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, the last week with the exam on Saturday. We do have the monies in the budget for education and training, so I'm just asking for the board's approval to move forward and register for the
Gentlemen, is
course.
there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. And lastly, on agenda topics in open session, the Registry of Motor Vehicles is launching what they call their new Atlas system for interaction with customers as well as citizen towns to provide direct access for commitment information and corrections to occur electronically. Other services they will be providing is to allow boards of assessors or other municipal departments to have access, primarily the Board of Assessors, through this Atlas portal for registry. A lot of time for the taxpayer when they come in to request abatement of tax or have concerns about their value and the computation of tax. Just as a reminder for those that don't know, motor vehicle excise is information that is provided to the Board of Assessors completely by the Registry of Motor Vehicles. We receive a file with all the information, and we basically produce the paper bill that reaches the registrants for the excise tax purposes. When it comes in for abatements or questions of value, the changes cannot be made by the Board of Assessors. They have to be made by the RMV and then trickle down accordingly. Of course, abatements are made with the board when proper registration is filed, like cancellation of plates, transfer of plates, and proof of change of ownership, things of that nature.
I just want to tell the people out in TV land so they understand it's from the Registry of Motor Vehicles, it's not from us.
Yeah, we
So
have no
when you
control over it.
get that bill and you start jumping up and down, you want to come in and beat us up, it's not us, it's the Registry of Motor Vehicles. If you have any challenges, I'm sure the bills can help you, but it all comes down through the Registry of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah.
And lastly, in open session, the request for our next meeting date. Again, this will be during the abatement time. A reminder, the abatement period deadline for real estate and personal property for the town of Acushnet is 2/1/19. The assessors have to be in receipt of your application, date stamped by February 1st, 2019, to be addressed by the board, and ultimately the decision will be rendered within 90 days of receipt of the application from the taxpayer. We're looking for our next meeting to be set 1/29/19 at 6 p.m.
Is that Tuesday again?
Yeah.
Yes.
29, what did I have, the 19th? Okay.
Is everyone all right with that?
I'm good.
Guys, everybody? Yeah, Sue?
Okay, I'm going to request that the board reconvene and convene an executive session for us to end up in open session.
Is there a motion?
Like that motion.
I'll
Second?
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll go from executive, from public. Evening, folks, we're back from executive session into open session. We have to make a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With that, we reviewed FY19 real estate exemptions 37A and chapter 61B. There was a motion to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accept both applications.
Okay. You have to make that motion here too again?
Yeah, you have to
Motion- we
accept
have-
it, you have to do it in open session.
I'll make the motion to accept
I will
what we
second
had
that.
voted on.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also make a motion to give me authorization to submit the proposed FY20 budget.
I will make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With that, our next meeting will be January 29th, 2019. With that, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Let's hope it doesn't snow. I don't know, you want it to snow,
I haven't plowed in 2 years,
huh? Okay.
but I like making snow angels with my shorts on.